So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for Lunch and Learn. I'm Adria with PHCC of North Carolina, and I'm really glad you could be a part of our lunch hour with us today. Today's session is workforce retirement plans for business owners, which is a really important topic for many contractors and business leaders. As your businesses grow, questions often come up about how to create the right retirement plan, not just for yourself as the owner, but also for attracting and retaining employees. Understanding the difference between options like SEP plans, simple IRAs, 401ks can be a big impact on long-term planning and for employee benefits. It's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Tyler James Dean. Tyler works with business owners to help them navigate financial planning and retirement strategies. Today, he'll walk us through the different types of employer-sponsored retirement plans and the benefits each option can offer, helping you better understand which may work best for your business. So, Tyler, thank you for being here today, and I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Adria. I appreciate it. Glad to be able to just be a voice of knowledge and experience in working in the industry and helping a lot of service and trade-based businesses to really get a better understanding of all the different options that are out there and available to you as a business owner and putting together some benefit that helps you in running your business, but also create a benefit for your team, your key employees, and creating this retention benefit as well. Because in my experience working with a lot of folks in the industries, finding someone and holding on to them is extraordinarily difficult, and it's tougher each year that we go through, where it's just trying to find somebody, anybody to fill in the position to help them work. And if you lose a key employee, someone who's been with you years because you don't have the right benefits in place to a competitor, that's tough. It's a tough blow, and it can set your business back. So one of the main things that I want to be able to talk about is that benefit that we can help you with to put in place as many different options, especially for small business owners. So I am going to go ahead and walk through my slide deck on what we have, some of the main points, and get to really some of those aspects that are the reason behind setting up a 401k. And we've seen a lot in the past how the retirement savings vehicle has gone away from a pension style where it was the business that provided it as a retirement benefit later in life. So it's gone away of the dinosaurs. It's this old relic that doesn't really exist anymore unless you're with the government, and some other businesses here and there. But the onus is now on you and I as individuals to really be able to plan for retirement. And one way to do that is through some kind of workplace plan. And what we know is that there's a big gap in folks who are saving for retirement, where they actually are and where they should be. So more than ever, we need our small business owners, closely held business owners, to be able to provide that benefit and to make it easier for these folks to be able to save, and adding in some kind of incentive like a match as well to be able to help create some confidence later in life. So saving for retirement is incredibly important. And we also know that folks are living longer. So these are the average life expectancies for men and women. And when we live in an affluent area, like a Raleigh area or in a Charlotte area where we have access to great medical care, those life expectancies go a little bit further. Social Security is going to be a big aspect, and that's a whole nother topic that we definitely don't have time to cover today, but something worth noting, there are going to be some changes around Social Security at some point in time. And it's it's going to be a big aspect on what people rely on later in life as part of their retirement income. Inflation historically runs about 3%. Uh, so we need to make sure that we're keeping track of inflation, how that impacts our income needs. And then just looking at general savings. What is it going to take for us to put aside each month in order to be able to achieve a certain figure, assuming a 6% rate of return? When we're much younger, that dollar figure on a monthly basis is more manageable. And that's something that I hear from every single person that I've worked with in all my years of helping folks, is that they wish they would have started saving earlier, that they wish they would have started saving sooner. And we can see that there's a massive difference in how much you need to be able to save each month the later we push out that savings. So it's more important now than ever for folks to have some kind of guidance and some kind of assistance in saving for their own retirement. And that's kind of that benefit that falls on us to, as business owners, to be able to provide that for our key employees, for our team, and to create a benefit for that. So there are a lot of different options that are out there available to you. And when we're working with owners, there there are a lot of different key driving factors that can really help us to customize what it is that you're looking for in order to be able to implement in your retirement, uh, your workplace plan. So it could be something like a SEP or a simple, or owner 401k, or even a profit sharing 401k. So sometimes that can be a decision that's driven by saving taxes for the business owner, or ways for you to be able to put a whole lot of money aside into some kind of retirement vehicle that helps reduce your tax liabilities for the year. But for me, one of the biggest reasons I see this is that it's this ability to attract and retain employees. And in the industry, in the trades and service industry, there aren't a lot of business owners, a lot of businesses out there that offer some kind of workplace plan. So they're really putting it on their employees to be able to save for retirement on their own. They may have some other benefits in place, like health care, or short-term, long-term disability, or even something like insurance. But the 401k, the workplace plans, tend to be something that's left off the table. And those employees will jump ship and go to competitors when there's this extra incentive, and pay has something to do with that, but also that total package. So this is where we really help owners in constructing an employer plan that is attractive and help to retain those key employees. So I'm about to jump into all the different options that are available to you, but I think it's also important that we look at one other item, and that's something that the government provides in the form of tax incentives and tax credits to be able to help offset some of the potential money that's being shared in a profit sharing or 401k or matching program, or even some of the cost and offsetting those costs with establishing a 401k. So there's some really neat features out there, and it's not just 1 year that they're providing this tax credit, it's multiple years, and how they're allowing us to take advantage of these tax credits available. And so this is something where we work in conjunction with your accountant or your tax preparer to make sure that you're taking advantage of these tax credits that are available to you. And even for folks who already have a 401k in place, a lot of times they don't have a feature called an auto enrollment put into place. And that's just a simple little switch that you can turn on that allows us to take advantage of a $500 credit, tax credit that the government allows for multiple years. So that's something that can also help you as the business owner, but a way that, and there's been a lot of research on this in terms of creating these automatic enrollments, is it automatically turns on the savings for someone who's in a 401k or simple or some other workplace plan, and it starts those folks saving into that retirement vehicle. And if they want to opt out, they've got to sign a document that says I don't want to contribute. So they've seen that a lot of folks don't object to making those contributions, and they adjust to the amount of funds that are at the end of the day going into their bank account. So it's one of those ways that we can actively help folks to make sure that they're contributing, and you get a tax incentive for it. So just a win-win situation all around. All right, so the first plan, the first option that's out there, this is really going to be more for your mom and pop, really a business that's run by a husband and wife team, or really just one employer, and maybe they have some help in the form of contractors, people who are not a W-2. And so what this particular plan does is it allows the business to make a contribution into a pre-tax account. So it's called a SEP, Simplified Employee Pension Plan. And that goes up to 25% of that individual's net income. And I say net income because usually they're not set up as a W-2. So they're some kind of LLC, and they have all their business expenses that are reducing down that net income. So it's going to be 25% of that net income. So let's say you made 100,000 net for the year, you could take up to 25%, the business could, and put 25,000 into the SEP to help further reduce that tax liability on your income. And at the same time, move assets into a pre-tax account where you have the benefit of taking advantage of investment options that are wide ranging. So you've got a huge list of investments that you could invest in. Whereas, say, a 401k, those investment options are going to be very restricted. And a SEP IRA is a form of IRA where it allows the investment options to be expansive. So straightforward, we know that the max that we can get out or that can be contributed is 25% of that net income, and not to exceed 72,000 for 2026. And I will also note that a SEP plan can also still be put into place this year in 2026 for contributions being made for 2025. And it's the case a lot of times where business owners and their tax accountants get together after the year is over to discuss what can they do to reduce their taxes. And if you fall into that segment of you're just a mom and pop shop or it's just you, this is a great option for you. It gives you a lot of flexibility there. So another option, and again, this is really going to be more for those mom and pop shops or partners in a business, and you don't have a whole lot of W-2s outside of family members. So again, just sticking with the owners of the plan, this is a little bit different because it's going to be most folks set up as some kind of W-2 where your income is set, and then you still have some pass through that's going to go to you. So this is all based on what you can directly contribute, which is your typical 401k limit. So for 2026, you're looking at 24,500. And then once you get to age 50 to 59, you get what's called a catch up. So an additional 8,000 more. Or if you fall into the 60 to 63 range, which is this extra catch up, these are what the employee or anybody who's a W-2 can directly contribute to the owner K to help offset tax liabilities. You also get the opportunity, if you want, to move those assets into a Roth style bucket within that owner K as well. So those would be after-tax contributions, but now it opens that up into those two different kind of tax buckets where the SEP does not. In addition to what the W-2 individual can do, the business can also do a profit sharing contribution component, and that's up to 25% of the W-2 for the individual. So that income, and again, our total contributions are going to be 72,000 for 2026, plus the catch-up contributions. So we're looking at the opportunity to put a significant chunk of assets into a retirement plan that helps us to, if we choose, to avoid taxation on that and let those investments grow tax deferred until you get to retirement and start pulling those out. And the other idea of the owner K, so this is also a little bit more unique, is the investment options are also a wide expanse on what you can choose, and that's something that we work with a lot of our owners in establishing a portfolio objective and investing in a diversified approach. All right, so this is where we're going to start getting into teams, and you've got several employees in place, several W-2 employees, plus the owners, and we know that we need to be able to provide something that's not a 401k with that cost that goes into it. So simple IRA allows individuals, the owner of a company, to put in place a retirement plan that allows the individuals to contribute, and additionally will provide a matching contribution to those individuals. So we can see that for 2026, our contribution is going to be capped at 17,000. That's, of course, if you fall into these catch-up contributions, these age ranges, it's still a significant amount of funds. The simple IRA is a low-cost alternative to a 401k. There's minimal setup that goes into it, and the cost is also going to be minimal because it falls on the individuals who set up their own accounts underneath the business's umbrella. And this is where we work with the owner and those team members who are contributing to the simple IRA and help them identify their customized portfolio and their investment options. So any contributions that are being made into the simple are automatically vested, in addition to that standard 3% match that goes to it. So this is typically where we have some combination of folks who have bookkeepers, or they're running that payroll themselves. So we're going to work with either you running that payroll to make sure that you're contributing those contributions in a timely fashion, or we work with your payroll provider It could be a large payroll provider, or it could be your accountant or a separate payroll provider. Um, and typically with a simple IRA, it says that we can go up to 100 employees, but usually once we start getting to 50 employees, we're going to want to see a changeover into something that's more customizable via 401k. But a simple IRA, it's something very simple and easy to put into place. And it automatically provides that benefit that folks are anticipating when they go to work for someone, that there's this matching component. And so that's what the simple IRA provides. And then this is what most folks know and understand a retirement plan to be. It's a 401k. So we've got your standard contributions, 24,500 plus the additional catch-up age ranges. And 401ks can be customized to really any driving force that the owner is looking for, whether that's they're trying to focus on their key employees and they can add this profit sharing component within the 401k structure to begin sharing additional assets into this 401k, where they can give those key employees more money and also have some kind of vesting schedule with that to make sure that they stay around longer to fully benefit from that sharing contribution. And we can get quite a bit of money to go into these plans as well, up to that 72,000. We can start putting into place your pre-tax. We can open it up to Roth contributions, and then we can do something very unique that a lot of these other plans can't do, and that's an after-tax contribution, where it helps those folks who can't directly contribute to Roth because they make too much money. So it allows us to do what's called a mega backdoor Roth within your 401k, a more complex feature, but something that gives business owners a lot more flexibility in deciding how and whom they choose to be able to focus on in creating these key employee features and retention aspects. So there's also a lot of testing that goes into place with a 401k. Especially if you start getting into, you have key employees who utilize that plan to get up to that 72,000 number potentially. So they're going to be testing features that are put in place to make sure that the 401k is opened up to all those employees to take advantage of it, not just those key people at the very top to maximize the contribution limits of the 401k. So there are plans out there called a safe harbor that allow the bypass of these tests, because we know that everybody who contributes is going to get a certain matching contribution, or just a contribution in general, even if they don't match. And this is where having those conversations with the leadership team and the business owners to fully customize what it is that they're looking for, to have that put into place for their plan. And again, there are going to be these tax incentives that are provided for owners to help them reduce and offset those costs of putting a 401k into place to better serve their team. And then lastly, one thing that we add as a layer is going to be more of a financial wellness. So a lot of education that's provided to the employees who are a part of that team that you have, and this is offered at no cost. It goes in conjunction with your 401k, so the employees can get more assistance, more education in understanding their financial journey. And of course, we can work with them individually to ensure that they've got the right foundational pieces in place. So this is something that Jones has just started to roll out. So it goes in conjunction with the 401k and allows these benefits or enables these features for people to take on at their own pace and to make sure that they get all the education that they need, in addition to all the education that we provide when we go out to the business or we go out into the field and we're working with those individuals. This is something that they can take on at their own pace, and we can identify those individuals who may need a little more assistance or raise their hand. So it allows us to work with them and engage them in several different aspects and get that education that's out there, because that is a key component. Just like with business owners, you're really good at turning that wrench or making that widget. We know you're fantastic at that, but there are all these other aspects of running a business that you need partners to help you ensure that you're doing the right thing. And that's where me and my team will be of assistance and help guide you in making sure that you've got all the right tools to help you and your team achieve what you need to. Um, so I'll just take a few minutes. I know it's a ton of information. Just want to put it out there for any questions that anybody has, or see if I can help answer anything that's top of mind.
That was amazing. As someone who's not a business owner, I've definitely learned a lot. And what I appreciate is how you guys have a plan for no matter how small you are or how big you get, and there's different steps for that. And I also like to point out it said 83% of workers says retirement plans is a major factor in like if they choose a job or not. That's massive. I don't think I realized how, important, especially in today's world, like you want to have that safety net. So I think that's eye-opening for some that might want to reevaluate their plans and kind of see, what they can better offer to their employees, because that's a big number.
It is, and it's unfortunate that a lot of folks grew up in an environment where they didn't get the financial education. I certainly didn't. It's something I had to go out and get on my own.
Mhm.
And we want to make sure that we're reaching out and being highly involved and engaged in the community to provide that assistance so that people can get on the right track and be in control of their
Mhm.
financial future.
Yeah, but I appreciate that because again, I'm not a business owner, but I'm like, now I know that's so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for taking the time out to educate us on all these things. And you're a member of PHCC, so I'm sure some of our members will definitely reach out if they have any individual questions for you. So I'll be happy to share information. Is there any remarks you want to leave before we close out?
Yeah, just proud to be a part of the association and to be here to help answer any questions and provide guidance. Thank you. Thank you for
Absolutely.
the opportunity.
Absolutely. We enjoy having you. So thanks again, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And we hope to see you at our next Lunch and Learn on June 10th about exit planning.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
Adrian.
you.
Yeah, take care.
You too.